Hello everybody. So today we'll look into the fifth program, that is implementing and studying the performance of GSM on NS2 or NS3 or equivalent environment. So here we cannot run this program, rather we will just simulate the environment and see what type of output we will get. So this is basically to implement the performance of GSM. So what is GSM? Second generation technology, 2G. You are very well versed in usage of mobile technology. So 2G technology is based on the technology known as Global System for Mobile Communication, GSM. This technology enabled various networks to provide services like text messages, picture messages and multimedia messages. So what are the technologies used in 2G? It is either TDMA, which stands for Time Division Multiple Access, or CDMA, which stands for Code Division Multiple Access. So this allocates a special code to every user to communicate over a physical channel. GSM uses a variety of time division access, TDMA, and it is developed as a replacement for one. Definitely any version is named before the previous version. So here 2G is named before the first generation 1G, which made use of analog cellular network. And GSM standard originally described through digital technology makes use of circuit switch network, which is an optimization for full duplex telephony. So this went on expanding over the time to include data communications. First through circuit switch transport, then by packet data transport through GPRS. GSM can be implemented on all the versions of NS. Let's see what is the topology that is used for this program. See, you can see there are 5 nodes in this diagram that you can see. The sender mobile node and the destination mobile node. Actual communication is between the sender and the destination. But behind the screen at the back end, we have other communications. What is that? So any node will be connected to a base station, and base station which is very much near to you, and another base station which is very much near to the destination node. In between, if the base stations are separated by a long distance, we may encounter mobile stations. So this is what is the topology or the environment that we use to simulate this program. So make clear there are 2 nodes, one is the sender node and the destination node, and the sender node is attached to one base station and the destination node is attached to another base station. These 2 base stations are separated through a mobile station. And as usual, any link needs the bandwidth and the propagation delay, and what you can see over here is the bandwidth and the propagation delay. For example, between the sender node and the base station 1, the bandwidth is 3 MB and 10 milliseconds propagation delay. Like this, we have different link parameters for all this. So now let's look into in detail about the program. Since this program is a little bit different from other programs, the previous programs that we studied are either wireless or wired. But this program, that is the 5th and the 6th program, is semi-wireless. It takes the characteristics of both wired and wireless, one thing. And second thing is, since from 2G onwards we started using internet, we also look into web files. We make use of web traces. There it was just a trace file. Here we make use of web traces also. This is a major difference between the other program and this program. So let's look into the program directly. So 5th program is basically a global system. So GSM, the type of link is GSM. I already told you what is GSM in the beginning itself, which stands for Global System for Mobile Communication. The type of link we are using is GSM. Next, what you can see is the flows. We are setting the flows to 0. So these are nothing but the long-lived TCP flows. Another one, the web sessions. How many web sessions we need? See, we are setting it to a value of 2. Flows can be 0 or more. So initially we are setting the flows as 0 and the web traces or the web session as 2. Next, since we are just simulating the environment, plotting the graph and studying the statistics, we should know the plotting statistics also. So what are the plotting statistics that we are using? What are the plotting statistics we are using over here? So we have a wrap, that means set opt wrap. Around 100 dots are being used, plots are being used. So that is why set opt wrap is around 100. And the source trace and destination trace. We know that for every node there is a trace file generated. So we are setting the source trace file and the destination trace. Where to plot that? So one is through the source trace, another one is through the destination trace. Another parameter setting for this is mainly the downlink and uplink bandwidth in BPS. So this is the major setting in this environment. We have to set what is the uplink capacity and downlink capacity. So set bandwidth downlink for GS, we are taking it as 9600. Likewise, the uplink bandwidth is taken as 9600. And along with that, we will also have to set the propagation delays. So for that, we are taking the downlink propagation delay as 0.500 and the uplink propagation delay as 0.500. So these settings are very much required for simulating the GSM environment. Next, as usual, we start the simulator by creating a simulator class, and NS is an object of the simulator class. Then we are creating an object TF which is linked with the trace file out.tr, and then we are setting the nodes or creating the nodes. Here, which are the nodes required? Look into the diagram: source node, base station 1, mobile station, base station 2, and destination node. So same way over here, IS stands for the source node, MS stands for the mobile node, the in-between node what we have is mobile station, and then base station 1, BS1, base station 2, BS2, and the destination node by LP. So we are creating these many nodes. As usual, we have done for other programs. Here also we are setting the nodes through the node class. Next, we will have to set the cell topology, and we are declaring the NS nodes as global. After creating the nodes, next is what we have to connect them. How to connect them? Again, we make use of duplex link. So $NS duplex link. The source node is LP, destination the destination node is BS1, and bandwidth, propagation delay, and the queuing technology used over here is drop tail. Look here, the source node is LP and the base station is BS1. Likewise, we we use a duplex link between base station 1 and the mobile station, again with propagation delay and the bandwidth with 1 and 1, and look at here, instead of drop tail we are using the queuing technology as RED, where RED stands for random early detection. Likewise, between mobile station and base station 2, we set with value 1 and 1, which stands for the bandwidth and the propagation delay. Next, again between base station 2 and the source node, bandwidth and propagation delay and drop tail. Look, we are using a combination of the drop tail and RED queuing technology. Next, we are just displaying. Footage stands for this display. So we are displaying GSM cell topology. After this is next setting of the link parameters. So setting the link parameter is a procedure call. It's a procedure call. So whenever I call this procedure, the control will come here and we receive a parameter called T. Then we declare the nodes, what all the variables we require. The nodes, bandwidth uplink, downlink bandwidth, propagation delay of uplink and downlink, and buffer. Next, we also create some objects of the type bandwidth, and then this bandwidth is between whom? BS1 and over there we make use of the downlink, and the type of link is duplex. Likewise, we set between other nodes also. Not only bandwidth setting, we have to set other parameters like delay also. So we are setting three parameters in this picture. One is bandwidth, another one is delay, and another one is Q limit. We have done this in other programs also. Same way over here, between the connect, we set the bandwidth, the delay between the two, and the Q limit. So we will come to this code whenever there is a call, procedure call to set link parameter. As we go ahead, I'll tell you where we come into this code. Next, we have to set the RAD and early detection. So we have seen this through this when the packet drop will happen. Only when the drop concept is used. For that, we will have to set some parameters. What are the parameters? Queuing technology makes use of RAD technique and the adaptive mode, whose value is set to 1. There are different values that can be used for RAD. So adaptive value is 1 and the minimum threshold and maximum threshold. We have to say up to which level there will be no packet loss and after which level there will be packet loss. So for that we are setting the threshold values. We are setting the threshold value as 30 and maximum threshold value as 0, and we have to set the window size also. So that is also set as 30. These are variable parameters you can set as you wish to look into a different pattern of the output. So here we have set RAD and TCP parameters. Next what? The creating the topology. So switch $type. Whenever I say $type, it is the value of type. So type over here in the beginning we have declared it as GSM. So there is substitution. So it will get into GSM technology. The type that we use is GSM. So it will connect it. It will get connected to GSM type. Next, link parameter, again $type. Look here. Set link parameter $type. Now set link para $type is JSON. So now I am calling this function set link parameter. So the control flows from here to this procedure set link parameter. And whatever we pass over here, what is that I'm passing? $type. $type is for GSM. So T receives the value GSM. So now for this GSM environment, I am setting the bandwidth, delay and Q limit. Next is what we have to insert delayer. These are again built-in programs, built-in all. Okay, so we inserted delayer between whom the MS and BS1 and the MS and BS2. We know where BS1 and BS2 comes into picture through the network topology we have seen. Next, we'll have to set up the forward TCP connection. There are two. One is when the flow value is 0 and another one is the flow value is 0. So usually look at this diagram. Actual communication is between them. To happen, this has to go from sender to base station, again from base station to destination. So whenever there is a flow from sender to base station 1, we say there is a flow happening. So this code, this part of the code decides about whether the flow value is 0 and flow value is greater than 0. If the 0, what we do, we set the TCP1, create the connection, okay, between the nodes IS and the destination node, that is source node and the destination node. And whenever we create a TCP communication, that is whenever we use the transport protocol as TCP, we will have to use the application layer protocol. TCP1 set window, NS at start time and stop time. So what we are doing is, in case the flow is greater than 0, then we have one set of parameters, that is this set from here till here, which holds good for, yes, till here, which holds good for the source node, and this set of parameters the same but for the destination node. So we will have to set the parameters. What all parameters? Again, TCP protocol, the FTP protocol, the window size, when to start the simulation and when to stop the simulation. Likewise, for the destination node, it is TCP2 and set the FTP protocol, set the window size, start the simulation at 1 and stop the simulation at 8.0. Okay, so this is what happens when the flow value is 0 and flow value is greater than 0. Finally, we have something called procedure stop, like how we have procedure finish over there, here we have procedure stop. So again declare the global variables nodes and NF. Next, wrap, set wrap, so option wrap, this is next source ID and destination ID. So that means I am using source ID and destination ID, making use of a trace file that is generated through the source file, source trace and the destination trace. And out.tr is the file where the trace file is available. Next, we need two files called getrc and raw2xg. What are these files? These are the web trace files which are available. So where it is available, getrc, you can say dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot slash. This indicates the path where these files are available, getrc and raw2xg. It will usually be available on the desktop in a folder called all-in-one. So there is a fixed path, okay, all-in-one. And then there you will be getting these files. So to extract those files, like awk file, we have this trace files, that is web trace files which are available in getrc and raw2xg. Next is what? After that we have to execute. So we call the execution of getrc with the source ID, destination ID, trace file and a web trace file. We are wrapping and plotting the graph, directing the plot graph to plot.xgr. Likewise, we are also executing on getrc, source ID, destination ID, raw2xg and time at which this happens, and we are redirecting that to plot.xgr. Next, we are calling the execution and redirecting this to plot using xgraph. And the name of the x-axis is minus x, name of the y-axis is y, and where I am getting the, where do I have the plotting details? It is available in plot.xgr. So call the execution at that point and exit. So as usual, ns at 100 milliseconds, we are stopping this and we call the run upon. So this is the graph that we get upon executing this program. Since this is a GSM technology, we very well know that 2G is not that good when compared to 3G and 4G. 2G is not that good when compared to 3G, 4G, 5G, whatever. So whatever you can see in between these are indicates that there is loss of packet transfer, whatever packets we send. So red lines, red dots indicate the packet transmission, and since we are making use of TCP protocol, there is acknowledgement. There is acknowledgement. So other line indicates acknowledgement. So wherever there is gap, there is packet loss. Likewise, wherever there is gap in this purple dot, there is acknowledgement loss. So anyway, we very well know that the transmission in 2G technology is not that good, and this is what is the output we get whenever we execute this program on GSM technology. Okay, so this is about the fifth program and how the trace file for that will look like. Look at this, like other trace files, we have the trace file generated for this also, and this is what how it looks like, all the 12 fields we have over here. Okay, that is about program 5.
Yeah, they have mentioned module 1